Whoopsies, I just cut off the recording. And I don't know how to use editing software still. Well, at least the last batch of pierogies is edible. Goal? Read about it as much as I can in 2 minutes. Check back in with the pierogies to make sure they're not burning. Gonna make sure they're not burning now. Flip. Flip. And flip. Now I'm appropriately prepared for this. In case I accidentally cut off this video, welcome to Trial by Trivia. I try to do educational stuff here. We will get your main content on eventually. At the moment, still working on it. We might have comics, commentary, I read out the news, internationally, and locally for my fellow Americans, because of course. At the same time, I don't want to screw it up. Alright, let's get this party started. We left off at this word. So we read, this in about 2 minutes. Hopefully. 3, 2, 1. House. And the provisions of Section 2 of the 20th Amendment to the Constitution, the Congress must assemble at least once a year, noon on the 3rd day of January, unless by law appointed by a different day. Congress lasts for at least 2 years, commencing in January of the year, following the biennial. Oh my gosh. As you can guess, I was just spawn camped by an ad. We're not counting that. And the state considers itself a body and operates under the continuous standing rules it amends from time to time. Unlike other parliamentary bodies, both the Senate and the House of Representatives have equal legislative functions and powers within certain exemptions. For example, the Constitution provides that only the House of Representatives originate revenue bills by tradition, with the House of Representatives and appropriation bills, as both bodies have equal legislative powers by the designation of one as the upper house and one as the lower house, was not appropriate. The chief function of Congress is making all the laws. In addition to the Senate, has the function of advising, consenting to treaties, and to certain nominations by the President. However, under the 25th Amendment to the Constitution, both houses confirm the President's nomination for Vice President when there is a vacancy in that office, and that manner of impeachment of the House of Representatives presents the charges. A function similar to that of a grand jury in the Senate, this sits as a court to try the impeachment of the Senate. The Congress, under the Constitution, by the statutes, also plays a role in the presidential elections of both houses. Meet in... It's not really good at transitions. Alrighty. We made it. Joint section on the 6th day of January by a presidential election, unless they, by law, appoint on a different day to count the electoral votes. If no candidate receives a majority, the total electoral votes of the House of Representatives of each state delegation having one vote chooses a president from among the 3 candidates having the largest number of electoral votes. The Senate of each senator having one vote chooses the vice president from the 2 candidates having the largest number of votes for that office. Yay! We made it this far. We've made progress. I'm gonna go check before the alarm goes off and makes you all go deaf. It just occurred to me that I didn't start the 2-minute timer, so that was a good practice run. So let's do this paragraph with the 2-minute timer, and I'm making sure I actually touch it this time. 3, 2, 1. Go. That should be going. Oh, go! Hey, Chevrolet, shut up. It was an unskippable ad. You guys deserve to hear my frustration. Anyways. Start. Okay. Sources of ideas in legislative or ultimately proposed drafts and bills originate in many device corridors. Primary focus. Primary among these is the idea of a draft conceived by a member in the promise, if elected, to introduce legislation in a particular subject. The member may also become aware after taking office of the need for amendment, repeal of an existing law, enactment of a statute, and for an entirely new field. In addition to the members' constituents, either individuals or through citizen groups may avail themselves of the right to petition and the right to transmit their proposals, and member of the right to petition guaranteed by the First Amendment of the Constitution. Many excellent laws originated this way in the organizations because their virtual concern with the various areas of legislation have considerable knowledge regarding these affecting legislation and considerable laws regarding these affecting interests. Oh my goodness, I was in a loop. Thank goodness I'm out. Similarly, the state of legislators may memorialize Congress to enact specified federal laws, passing resolutions to be transmitted to the House and to the Senate as memorials, if favorably impressed by the media. If a member may introduce the proposal in the form which it has been submitted, may redraft it in any event. The member may consult the Legislative Council of the House or Senate to frame ideas in a suitable legislative language and form. Time. 3, 2, 1. I managed to beat the time. Oh my goodness, I just picked this up and I got an ad. And it's an unskippable ad. Thanks, Vistaprint. I hope your day goes horribly. Why? This is supposed to be copyright-free music for the background. Not supposed to be rated with advertisements every 5 minutes. But apparently I'm just mistaken. Anyways, here's what the pierogies look like. Got them nice fried with a little bit of mustard. I'd have sour cream, but I don't know where it is. Nor do I know where the savory mayo is. So, spicy mustard it is. So I'm gonna try to remember where I was. We made it to part 3 and read through that paragraph. So we're just gonna read it through down here. Then I just get to enjoy the rest of my food and you can chill out with me. In modern times, the executive communication has become a prolific source of legislative proposals. In communication is usually the form of a message or letter in the presidential cabinet. The head of the independent agency, or the president himself, transmitting the draft proposed bill to be Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the President of the Senate, despite the structure of separations of power in Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution imposes obligation to the President to report to Congress from time to time of the State of the Union, and to recommend consideration such measures as President considers necessary and expedient. Many of these executive communications, so that it's not just me, to the Congress on the State of the Union, the communication is then referred to the Standing Committee. The committees having jurisdiction of the subject, no matter the proposal, to the standing committee. The committees of the subject of the matter of the proposal, chairman, ranking, and minority member is relevant to the committee. Usually intrudes with the bill. The bill promptly changes their form or switches it to received, and the desired changes to the post are usually by majority. The House of President and the President are not of the same political party. However, there is no constitutional statutory requirement that the bill is produced to be effectuate. Recommendations, the committee, or one of its subcommittees, may also decide to examine the communication to determine whether a bill should be introduced as most important to the regular executive communications annual message by the President transmitting the proposed budget to Congress. Proposed budget to Congress. We've been through this a bit. Let's move on. The President's budget proposal, together with testimony by officials of various branches of the government before appropriation committees of the House and the Senate, is of the basis of several appropriation bills that are drafted by the Committee Appropriations of the House to be committed by the Appropriations of the House. Legislative request with their enticement. The drafting statuses in their art therefore requires great skill, knowledge, and experience. In some instances, a draft will be the result of study covering a period of a year or more by commission or by committee, designated by the President or the member of the Cabinet. Of the Administrative Procedure Act and the Uniform Code of the Military Justice are two examples of enactments resulting of such studies. In addition, the congressional committees draft bill after studies of hearings covering periods of a year or more. That's it. I'm done reading this. We've made it through. I'm going to put a candy thing in here to let me know where I've decided to leave off. We've made it through 4.5 pages of this. Trying to balance a phone and read isn't easy, but I managed. Now we get to chill out for a few minutes and just, Oh my goodness, why? The ads. Here's a trivia question for you. I was gonna do something on topic, but no, we aren't doing that anymore. How many times have I been interrupted within this and the previous recording? Place your comments down below, because I am running out of patience. I'm gonna have to try and fuse the two videos together for your well-being. Oh well, I'll handle it. Welcome to Trial by Trivia, your new internet best friend who's honest when she's angry. Thank you for your time. Now we can just chill out for a bit. Now I'm sending this video internationally, so people in Poland may actually see me doing this. Oh well. I'll have to just guide myself in, chat room, private messages, or online messages. There we go. I had to go on break temporarily there. Got some more spicy mustard. In case you're wondering what it's like, when you fry them, the outside is nice and hard. But the inside literally becomes a nice, warm, starchy, cheesy cloud. Which pairs well with the mustard and hot sauce. By its side, I have a drink. Sugar-free lemonade. With added peach. The sweetness of the peach and the sourness of the lemon help cut out the spiciness of the hot sauce that I added, because I may have added too much. Still won't stop me from eating it, though. Because you know me. I appreciate good food. If you didn't know that, now you do. Alrighty, this is me signing off properly this time, because I didn't accidentally click the stop recording button. This is Trial by Trivia, your best friend. Thanks for staying with me for the book, and I will likely read to you even more at a later date. Bye!